Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon X with only in-game traded Pokemon was a really fun but limited team run. Let's follow that up with another classic gimmick run. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon White 2 with a team of only version exclusives. So much like in the Black 2 run, White 2 has a lot more Pokemon to pick from than in the regular Black and White games. Weirdly enough though, for the first time in this whole version-exclusive series I've been doing, it's actually mismatched what amount of Pokemon we can get before going into the Hall of Fame. We actually have access to less Pokemon than in Black 2, as some of the White 2 pre-Hall of Fame Pokemon are gated behind events. So realistically, we're only going to have access to 5 of them. I don't really want to start using legendaries, so I'm going to have to allow Patilil like I did in the regular Pokemon White run. You can trade for it in-game in Black 2, but it can still only be caught in the wild in White 2, so I think it's safe to count it as an exclusive. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I figure that I'll win, but I think this might be harder than in Black 2. My team choice is just a little bit more limited. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use version-exclusive Pokemon. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Snivy with Rufflet so that we can do the whole run with it. Same reason as in White, this is a Pokemon that we normally get moments before the end of the game, so I thought it'd be more interesting if we start with it. Alright, so I figure that the early fights are probably going to be easier in this run than they were in Black 2, but the mid-game might be harder. See, Rufflet is a really high attack Pokemon, and I expected to have an easy time with early fights like the Rival, the Normal Gym, maybe the Poison Gym, but I think that it's going to really fall off in the mid-game. Vullaby does too, they both kind of fall off in the mid-game. They don't evolve until the level 50s, and then they get good again. But I think that Rufflet falling off might have a bigger effect on our team, since it might be our main attacker. That's why I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to invest heavily in our second Pokemon, but that's still 2 major fights away, so let's just get the Rival and the Normal Gym out of the way first. So the Rival was actually a really close call. I grinded against wild Pokemon to get up to level 8 beforehand, and I'm happy I did, because I think we would have fainted at level 7. Obviously, it was just us trading shots with weak starting moves, but we weren't hitting quite as hard as I expected. Wow, so I got to the Normal Gym at level 12 and I thought I'd win because I have Wing Attack, but I'm actually just slightly too weak to make Lil Pup faint in 2 moves, and because he used Work Up, he could actually 2-shot me with Tackle. You know it's not good when we're losing to the first gym. I think I've actually underestimated how high our attack will be. I guess I need to hit level 13, but grinding is already pretty slow. Give me a while, and we can win this one. Okay, so I come back 1 level higher, and we're not only doing quite a bit more damage, but we're faster now, so we won pretty easily. Let's hope things get a little bit easier soon. Hey, it's time to catch our first new Pokemon. Instead of Magby, this time we get Elekid. I love both Magmar and Electabuzz, so I've got no complaints. This is an awesome Pokemon. Just like how we got the item to fully evolve Magmar right near the end of Black 2, we're gonna get the item to fully evolve our Electabuzz near the end as well. That's fine though, he's probably gonna be awesome along the way. Let's see if we can handle the Poison Gym yet. Alright, so the Poison Gym wasn't too bad. Coughing took out Elekid, but we paralyzed it and got her to use her potion early, so Rufflet was able to take her out just fine. Then use the type advantage to take out Whirlipede like it was nothing. Let's go catch more Pokemon. With that done, I go straight to the sewers, get some levels, then hit up the park for our next 2 Pokemon. First we get Skitty. It's really not that strong of a Pokemon, even after it evolves, but it has a really wide type variety of moves it can learn with TM, and it can attract to stall out Pokemon of the opposite gender. I think it's gonna be the least useful Pokemon on the team, but you never know. Oh, that reminds me, people said to me that you don't pronounce Bunnyiary as Bunnyary, and I would just like to say that that greatly disappoints me, because that name rocks, and I'm just gonna keep saying it that way. Anyway, next we get Patilil in the same park. I remember this one being pretty good in Pokemon White runs, so I'm happy about it. Having a grass type is probably going to be a big change from the Black 2 run. I look forward to seeing how much it affects the run. Alright, now I gotta go pick up leftovers, a scope lens, and a miracle seed from town, and then I'm gonna go try the Bug Gym. So the Bug Gym was easy, as expected, but it was even easier than I thought it might be, because Dwebble threw the fight. I paralyzed him early, and I guess he must be programmed to always use Rock Polish if he's slower. Well, the paralysis obviously made him slower, so literally all he did was spam Rock Polish until we made him faint. The rest of his team were one-shots with Wing Attack, but I could see Colress being pretty hard. Alright, this one wasn't exactly hard, but it took forever. The strategy is just to paralyze, then Leech Seed his whole team. Then it's just a total chip fight. This was a first try, but we actually almost lost because Clink went for Gear Grind on our under-leveled Patilil, and it almost for sure would have been a knockout. Between Leftovers and Leech Seed, our Elekid was able to stay pretty healthy, but we were really falling behind in levels, and this isn't going to work for much longer. I think we might need a serious grind session before we can beat the Electric Gym. Time for our second from last Pokemon already. Before the Electric Gym, I pick up Solosis, a really solid 3-form Psychic type Pokemon. I don't really think that it's going to help us very much in the Electric Gym itself, but in the long run, it'll for sure be a heavy hitter for us. Now, I don't really know how the Electric Gym is going to go, it's usually a hard one, but let's just hope that having our own Electric type will make it a little bit easier. I also picked up a Bright Powder on my way. It can be a total lifesaver if you're being one-shot by a 100 accuracy move. Alright, so I gave it a few tries, but even on this extremely lucky run where Paralysis saved us a ton against Emolga, and we even got a lucky crit with Fly on Flaffy, we still lost badly. We're massively underleveled, and we have no type advantage in this fight. Some of our team is more than 10 levels below them, so I think it's safe to say that we're gonna have to go and do a nice and long grind to get the team to stand a chance. I'm gonna get our team to a minimum of level 25 and then try some more. This really might take a while. So after grinding a ton and coming back the next day, I lost pretty badly. Things went a little better, mostly because Solosis could hit pretty hard with Psyshock, but for the most part we still fainted really fast. This is brutal. I still need to level more. I'm starting to wonder if I should just level up Solosis to level 32 to evolve it, and see if I can win the gym that way. So I try more after getting some more levels on the important Pokemon, but we're not really doing very much better. I can reliably take out our whole team but Zebstrika. It's just demolishing us every single time. It really doesn't help that we can't paralyze it thanks to its ability absorbing electric moves, and we can't put it to sleep or seed it because they outspeed and one-shot Patilil. I'm gonna have to evolve Solosis. I think this is possible soon. Okay, that did the trick. As long as we are careful to take out Emolga and Flaffy with other Pokemon so that Duosion is at full health, we can just overpower Zebstrika with it. We're still slower and take decent damage, but I'm just happy we finally win. Okay, we're finally making some progress again. I have the ground gym next, followed by the tournament. The tournament seems to always be pretty easy, but I don't know how the ground gym is gonna go. We don't have a crazy strong fighting type to deal with the steel types this time, but we do have a grass type on our team, so I think I might just have to invest heavily in Patilil. It's really close to learning Energy Ball, and that's when I'm gonna give it the Sunstone to evolve it. The funny thing is that even though I had to level up my team a lot to win the Electric Gym, we're still gonna be a lower level than the ground gym's team. It's crazy how fast we can fall behind in levels in such big team runs like this. Okay, so after 4 very unlucky tries in a row where we either instantly missed Sleep Powder or they woke up really fast and ruined our speed, we got this try where we put him to sleep, got 2 growths in, then swept his team with Energy Ball. I'm happy I went hardcore into Patilil because Lilligant is a pretty solid Pokemon. First in the tournament is the rival fight, and it's pretty easy. We actually did most of the fight with a burned Elekid, so that just tells you how easy this fight is. In fairness, a lot of his team was weak to electric type. Sharon was next, but he was super easy. I just switched out because I knew that he was going to use Bite, and Lilligant was able to take out his entire team easily thanks to the level advantage. Last is Colress, and although he's the hardest, Psyshock really easily overpowered him. Yeah, I had to use Light Screen and recover a bit at the start, but it all went fine, no problem. Alright, so we've got the Flying Gym coming up, then I can get the last Pokemon for our team, then another rival fight. Not much to worry about here, really. I think I'm going to focus on leveling up Elekid for the next little while, so that he's ready for the Flying Gym, then we should have an easy time. Then it's our rival, and he's usually not that bad, although we have a Dragon Gym and a Water Gym after that. The Dragon Gym might be hard, and normally the Water Gym is too, but between Lilligant and Elekid, might not be so bad. Let's go find out. Okay, so the Flying Gym was actually crazy. Right away, we ended up critting 2 attacks in a row on Swoobat, bringing her to a Sliver, making her heal, then bringing her to a Sliver again. The problem is, she used Attract and it kept kicking in, so we still found a way to feint and had to send in Duosion to finish it off. Second is Swanna, so I stayed in and did some damage, but fainted fast. Thankfully, Lilligant was able to finish it off with an energy ball. Last is Skarmory, and I knew this was going to be a close one, so I put it to sleep and hit Leech Seed. The first sleep powder missed though, so she got to use agility and hit us. We were able to stay alive for a pretty long time hitting weak energy balls, but eventually we fainted. With only super underleveled Pokemon left, I sent in Rufflet, who hardly survived a move, and used Fly, with the Leech Seed damage finishing her off while we were in the air. I really do not like how close that was. This is normally an easy fight. Hey, it's time for our last Pokemon, Camerupt. This is a really fun ground and fire type, so it's crazy weak to water, but it's still a solid Pokemon that can do a lot of damage. Its ability is Solid Rock, so super effective moves are less powerful than they would normally be against us, although they're still worse than regular moves, of course. We even have a nature to boost our special attack, so I'm feeling pretty good about this one. The low speed means that we're probably going to take a lot of hits. Camerupt probably won't help much in the upcoming fights, but I'm sure it'll be useful before the end of the run. I'm really surprised at how easy of a time we had at the rival fight, considering we're so underleveled. I guess it's a good sign that we're this far despite not being a very high level, but you know it's gonna bite us. Our rival may be easy, but the Dragon Gym could be pretty hard if I don't seriously invest in more of our team. Next is the Dragon Gym, and this is a rough one. Right away, we're able to two-shot Druddigon with Reuniclus, and second is Flygon. We hit it hard, but it outsped us and hit us way harder with Crunch. Knowing that I want to keep Reuniclus alive for the end, I switched to Delcatty to sacrifice it. As it fainted, we switched into Lilligant to hardly survive a critical Rock Slide and take it out with Energy Ball. Last is Haxorus, and I tried Sleep Powder, but we got outsped and finished off. I sent in Electabuzz instead and paralyzed him, then just kept hitting weak attacks until we fainted to a huge Dragon Tail. Then I switched back to Reuniclus to hit Psychic for big damage, but we ended up fainting. I had to send in Camerupt to finish him off with Earth Power. He's level 48. We're level 39, 40 after we made him faint. We are way too low of a level. How are we gonna beat the Water Gym like this? Are we just gonna lose because we're so low of a level? Alright, thankfully we actually had an easy time at the Water Gym. I just put Caracosta to sleep a couple of times, used Growth once, used Leech Seed to keep him from being saved by his ability, then swept most of his team with Energy Ball. Jellicent wasn't a one-shot, but it didn't hit all that hard with Ominous Wind, so things went fine. Alright, we're on our way to the last few fights of the game before the Elite Four. We have Zimzolin, Colress, Ghetsis, then our rival. I have to say, it's probably a good sign that we've been such a low level for most of the run, because that's only going to happen if our team is pretty good. But that said, it's not very balanced. I don't have any answers for quite a few types, including dragons. I can pick up the TM for Ice Beam, but unfortunately, Delcatty is our only Pokemon that can learn it, so I don't expect to hit very hard with it. I think it's safe to say at this point in the game that we might just need to make liberal use of rare candies when we need to level up beyond what Fighting Trainers gets us to, because even the wild Pokemon are about as strong as us. It would take ages to actually grind that way for the weaker members of the team. That does make me think that we'll beat this run at a lower level than we did in Black 2 though. Things are going really smoothly, all things considered. Also, just a reminder, I'm streaming every single day in April, and yeah, that makes time commitments very difficult, but I'm doing it. Some of the streams are here on YouTube, some of the streams are on Twitch, linked in the description. All of the VODs of the streams go up on YouTube after in the playlist section. You can check them out there before they even go public. Yes, that includes more Pokerogue if you're just here for the Pokemon. I love Pokerogue, that's a fun game. First is Zinzolin, and this is the first time that it was actually a close call. We could low-kick both of his Cryogonals easily, but then he absolutely wrecked us with Weavile. Most of our team is weak to Ice, so it's actually really rough anytime we have to fight Ice types. We just don't have a good answer for them. At least we'll get Flamethrower by Victory Road. That should help a lot. Next is Colress, and he actually wasn't too bad. Low Kick and Earth Power did an awesome job against nearly his whole team. Honestly, I probably should have opened with Camerupt rather than Electivire, but I forgot about his Tri-Attack and figured that he'd just make the mistake of electric moves early. Although, he did actually try that at one point. Also, we leveled up enough to learn Thunderbolt, so I guess I won't be needing to get that TM now. How will Ghetsis go, though? Because I could see that being pretty difficult. Okay, Ghetsis time. Right away, Cofagrigus messed up Reuniclus badly, and we fainted pretty fast. I only had him out because that was the lead on our team in the previous fight. I had to send Lilligant in to finish him off. Second is Seismitoad, who goes down in one energy ball that almost for sure didn't need to crit. Electros is next, so I sent in Camerupt to go for Earth Power, but I forgot that he has Levitate, so that didn't work. We ended up going down to Crunch and Acrobatics. I had to send Lilligant back in to put him to sleep, but we missed and took a Flamethrower before we hit on the second try. Then I seeded it to get some damage over time and hit an energy ball for solid damage. He actually stayed asleep for a while, but then he full restored. Thankfully, the leech seed damage was enough that we could two-shot it, so it didn't have to hit us again, and we managed to heal a lot. Next is Drapion, and we didn't have our ground type, so I just started using Energy Ball and Sleep Powder. Have you ever noticed when Drapion is asleep, it doesn't close its eyes? It just changes its pupils into like a closed eye emoji looking symbol. It's crazy looking. Anyway, we went down and I had to send in Rufflet to do some damage. It went down too, but Delcatty was hardly able to finish it. Toxicroak is next, but all we have is Delcatty and Electivire, so I stayed in, hit a tract, then fainted to a Sucker Punch. Thunderbolt did solid damage, we got poisoned off Poison Jab, then we took it out. Obviously though, we couldn't take out Hydreigon at the end. Alright, I think I need to make level 52 the new minimum level, then give this a few more tries. Okay, I'm back. This time Cofagrigus is easy with some Thunderbolts, although we do get hit by Toxic on the second round. He used Protect to waste time, but we still took him out fast. Seismitoad is still another one-shot with Energy Ball, and this time for Electros I used Reuniclus since we didn't have any other use for her. Crunch hits us really hard, Psychic hits him hard, we survived another Crunch just hardly, then finished him off. That went much better. For Drapion, I still had Camerupt this time, so I sent him in to use Earth Power, and although we took huge damage off Earthquake, we one-shot him. Hydreigon is second from last, and we still have our whole team this time, so I sent in Braviary first. Right away, he missed, and we crit Fly for a one-shot. That was amazing. Last is Toxicroak, but we just used Fly with Braviary to get the one-shot. Finally a win. Last is our rival, who opens with Unpheasant, so obviously, we Thunderbolt him down. Buffalant is second, and it's a two-shot, but his head charge brought us from full health to only 5. It's crazy how hard that hits us. Simipour goes down in one energy ball, and Emboar is next, so I sent in Camerupt, but he actually has Scald and one-shots us. I didn't see that coming. So I sent in Braviary and dodges Rock Slide with Fly to one-shot him. It was an easy win, but I had no idea Emboar had such good moves to counter its common weaknesses. That's a great moveset. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. I like our team overall, other than, I guess, Delcatty, but I don't really feel great about this Elite Four. Marshall might not be too bad, and Caitlyn might not be that bad either, but we don't have a great answer for Ghost types or Dark types. Our team was level 60 when we were able to beat Pokemon Black 2, and I could see us having to be around level 60 to win this one as well. In fact, it wouldn't shock me if we have to be a bit of a higher level than that even. I was thinking this run might be easier at first, but the more I play it, the more I think that this team might have a harder time with this end part of the game. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Ghost Trainer Chantel. Right away, Cofagrigus went down to 2 Thunderbolts pretty quickly. We got burned, but it wasn't so bad since we aren't using physical moves. Out to Lilligant for Golurk, and although we took some decent damage, we took him out and got her to use her full restores, so that's pretty good. Chandelure nearly one-shot our Camerupt, but thankfully, we one-shot her in return. That was super close. Last is Driftbloom, so I just sent Electivire back in to use Thunderbolt twice for the knockout. Yeah, that wasn't actually that bad. Second is Dark Trainer Grimsley. So after a couple of failed tries where I tried to beat Liepard with Electivire just to always get ruined by Attraction, Lilligant actually had a pretty easy time taking it down. Scrafty is second, and we had an easy time taking it down by spamming Fly, although we lost almost half of our health to Rock Tomb in the process. Crocodile's of course easy to take out with Energy Ball, and last is Bisharp, who went down in one low kick. Hey, that's another easy one. Maybe this will go better than I thought. Third is Fighting Trainer Marshall. Okay, so I had to experiment a little bit to figure out what Pokemon to use against who, but Lilligant did a great job at taking out Throw without taking too much damage. Not only that, but we got him to use a full restore. Second is Mind Shao, and I put a Bright Powder on Braviary since he just got one-shot by High Jump Kick last time, but it didn't matter because we got outsped with Bounce while we were using Fly, so we just ended up dodging it thanks to the timing of our moves as we landed our one-shot. Conkeldurr was hitting incredibly hard with Stone Edge against Reuniclus, but we survived with only 5 health to get the knockout. And last is Sok, who I could just overpower with a few Thunderbolts. I cannot believe how well this is going. I completely misjudged this. Fourth is Psychic Trainer Caitlyn. Right away, we put Masharna to sleep and leech-seeded her since I figured that we couldn't take her down fast anyway. I started using Growth, but she wakes up and gets us with Yawn early, then we miss our second Sleep Powder. Once we're asleep, we get taken out in a couple of Dream Eaters fast. Out to Reuniclus and we hit Shadow Ball for less damage than I was hoping. We got a second one in, and it gave her a special defense drop, but then we fell asleep to another Yawn. Thankfully, it happened as the Leech Seed finished her off, so we could just switch to Electivire. She responded by sending in Sigilyph for some reason, so we just Thunderbolted to nearly get a one-shot. We lost special defense to Psychic, and she used a full restore to heal up, but we easily took her out. Next is her Reuniclus, so I sent in Camerupt and hit Earth Power for great damage thanks to a crit. We survived Psychic, but were able to take her out right after since we dropped her special defense. The problem is, last is Gothitelle, and she took us out right away, then started quickly using Calm Mind. I was using Fly because I figured she was gonna attack us, but her using Calm Mind while we were in the air ended up making her so strong so fast that she swept our entire team. Well, that didn't go as great. I decided to try the fight more at the same level. This time I just went for Energy Ball right away after putting Masharna to sleep, and it took her out pretty fast. No messing around with Growth this time. For Sigilyph, I used Camerupt this time and opened with Rock Slide. We ended up missing though, so we never got a hit in before we fainted, so I had to send in Electivire and Thunderbolted it down like last time. We had a Reuniclus mirror match this time where we were slower and got crit right away, so although we did great damage, we were on the losing end. We did take out tons of her health, but she full restored. I had to send in Braviary to use Fly, but then she used Recover while we were in the air. We almost slashed her down before we fainted to Psychics and had to finish her off with Electivire. This really is not going well. Last is her Gothitelle, and I really didn't want her building up Calm Mind, so I just hit Thunderwave right away as she started building her Calm Mind, so at least we have the speed advantage. We then crit Thunderbolt for huge damage, she was fully paralyzed, we hit her again, she did massive damage with Psychic, then we took her out. It was rough, but we finally got the win on that. Finally, Pokemon Champion Iris. First is Hydreigon, so I paralyzed him, then hit a couple of low kicks for the knockout, although we did lose a good chunk of health in the process. Leftovers healed us at least a little bit. Aggron was really easy with a couple of energy balls, although we lost half of our health to Double Edge. And next is Druddigon, so I sent in Delcatty to use Ice Beams, but they were doing almost nothing. We got really lucky with misses, and eventually got one-shot by Focus Blast, and had to send in Reuniclus to try and finish her off. She full restored, but Psychic was doing a lot. Rock Slide ended up bringing us to a sliver of health after 2 hits, so we just hardly took her out. Haxorus was next, and with no better answers, we just sent in Braviary to start slashing. Dual Chop missed, we did some damage, but the second one crit us to take us out really fast. Still, no great answer. I tried using Reuniclus, but we got outsped and taken out, so I sent in Camerupt and also just got one shot. This is rough. I sent in Lilligant to try putting her to sleep, then hit some really weak energy balls to finally take him out. Lapras is next, so I stayed in and hit Energy Ball for big damage, then fainted to Ice Beam, but Electivire was able to easily finish it off with Thunderbolt. Last is Archeops, and we flinch right away to a Rock Slide, so we didn't get our Thunderbolt, then got taken out. The worst part is, if we didn't flinch at the end, I bet we could have actually won because of the defeatist ability. I'm going to level up the team a little bit and try more, but I really want to see if I can win below level 60 since that's what the White 2 team won at. So I tried the fight a bunch of times at level 58 to 59, and I ran into a really difficult problem to overcome. I either need the luck of fully paralyzing Hydreigon or critting it at the start to get to the rest of the fight in decent shape, but then Haxorus easily beats us every single time. The thing is, he just needs to use Dragon Dance once, and he will outspeed and sweep our entire team. I just lucked out on the previous try because of the missed Dual Chop, but once he uses Dragon Dance, he doesn't even need to use Dual Chop anymore. It's really starting to look like I won't win this fight until a little bit above level 60. We just have no way of handling these Dragon types. So I got the whole team to level 62. Things were a little bit better thanks to us now being faster than Hydreigon, so I don't need the luck of Paralysis saving us to get a 2-shot, but we still just lose to Haxorus every time thanks to him using Dragon Dance. I guess I was just really lucky with misses on the first try. Alright, I'm bumping up to level 65. This has to be possible soon. Okay, a couple tries later. We can low kick Hydreigon down pretty easily now, and we even do so much damage that she uses a full restore, so we can get her to waste it early as we take her out. Aggron is easy with Lilligant, although we got crit to take a lot more damage than I was hoping for, and Dredagon went down in 2 hits of Psychic from Reuniclus, but we still had low health by the end. Haxorus is next, so I sent in Delcatty to Ice Beam. She used Dragon Dance right away, but this time, we froze her early, and she stayed frozen, so we actually took her out. Maybe we can win this. Lapras is next, so I had Lilligant use Energy Ball, feint to Ice Beam, then had Electrifire finish it off just like before. Last is Archeops, so I opened with Electrifire, but we flinched to a Rock Slide right away and feinted to the second one. Well, there goes my easy win. Out to Braviary because I no longer have a good choice, and I took huge damage off Acrobatics and just hit Brave Bird for huge damage. That kicked in his Defeatist ability, so although he took us out, he's weaker. Reuniclus got crit to instantly faint, so I had to send in Camerupt. We flinched off a Rock Slide, flinched off a second one, flinched off a third one, then got crit on the fourth one to faint. That blew my mind. Last is Delcatty of all Pokemon. We survived Acrobatics and finished him off with Ice Beam. What an insane ending. Why don't I ever get that kind of flinch luck? Well, I will say that I think things went much better in Black too, but it was still a fun run. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next Saturday, like usual, with Pokemon Red with only one Poliwag. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the challenge request section of my Discord channel and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time. It is currently, at the time I'm doing this voiceover, the night of April 3rd, 2025, and I'm 3 days into streaming every day for April. You already heard me talk about it earlier in the run, and you may have heard it in some of these outros already. But yeah, I'm streaming every day in April. For some reason, some people thought that was an April Fool's joke. I don't know why you would think that if I was tweeting about it for a month. Who builds up to an April Fool's joke and then says the April Fool's joke is gonna last the whole month? That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I've been having fun with the streams. That's been nice. I'm very lucky that some of the runs I've been recording have been a little bit quicker than usual. Not really this one, but I've already started working on the Poliwag one, and wow, it did not go how I expected to go. I mean, I thought it'd be a little fast, but like, man, just wait for next week when that goes up, or less than 1 week if you're watching this on Patreon, because the Patreon people get it the moment I'm done editing it. And that one's probably going to be a quick edit. It's not super complicated. So thankfully, I was able to get ahead a little bit on Pokemon challenges, and that's part of what makes this whole streaming every day thing actually maybe possible. Then I don't have like any appointments this month or anything. So who knows if I'll actually stream every single day. Like I said before, there's a chance that something might come up and I might have to take a day or two away from streaming just to make sure I get other obligations done, but I'm definitely going to try for it, and I'm having a really fun time with it. It seems like you guys are having a fun time with it too. So thanks to everybody who's been coming to the streams. I always really appreciate that. And of course, all the VODs are put up on YouTube in the playlist section after, so you can watch them ages before I even tell them to go live. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.